Thanks for checking out Mac Guitar Mania. Today I'm going to show you how to get the best tone out of your HeadRush Core, Prime, or Flex Prime products without downloading a bunch of extra stuff, without worrying about somebody else doing it for you. I'll show you how to fine-tune it, 5 steps, so easy, you're going to say, that was easy. Just like Staples. The first step, pick the right amp and cab for what you're trying to create. Everything we have in these pedals are simulations, emulations of the real thing. Pick something you want it to sound like. Start from scratch and do that. My favorite amp to work with is what they call the Lux Vibe. It's the copy of the Fender Deluxe Reverb I have over there. Let's go to the desktop editor and I'll show you what I do. Okay, we're inside the editor now. You can see I already selected the Fender Lux Vibe, the one that has a little bit of a vibrato option. And then it gave me a cabinet, which is the 1x12 black panel Lux. I changed the microphone to a Ribbon 121. Not a big deal. I just like that amp and cab combo. I'm going to stick with that. You can pick whichever one you want. That's the most important thing to do, is pick the right amp and cab and consider the guitar you're playing. This is a Strat style guitar, 2 single coils, humbucker in the bridge. These 2 will generally be cleaner sounding. This will get a little dirtier. Keep that in mind as you're making your rig. Pick the right amp and cab and match it to your guitar. Once you have your amp and cab picked and set up, then you want to plug your guitar in, test it out, see how it sounds without any effects, no reverb, anything. Let's go to my neck pickup and hear how it sounds. Not bad. Let's go to the bridge pickup. All right, so we might want to make some adjustments. Do that right here in the amp settings on the right panel here. If you want to add a little more treble to make it a little more clear. Be careful turning this volume up, because some amps, like this one, it will start to distort right away. I'll give you an example. It's at 49% right now. Try the neck. Watch how we turn it up a little bit. Turn it up to 64. Already sounds like crap. We're going to keep it down to 40. Let's go a little lower, 43. Okay. Now sometimes changing this output level will keep it clean. Let's try to turn that up a little bit. Okay, not bad, not bad. A little more. All right, let's try my bridge pickup. That was crazy. All right, so that's what you want to do. Keep it simple. Make some simple adjustments right there. Don't do anything else yet. And real good tip, I wish that HeadRush would put a volume monitor on our desktop editor. I don't see one. If someone knows where to find it, let me know. But what I do is, on my foot pedal on the floor, I open it up to the output meter, and I check to make sure I'm not hitting orange or red. I don't want that. So let me just do that again. Looks good. It's getting up close, but it's not turning orange or red. I don't want to clip. That's the most important part. Pick your amp and cab, match it to your guitar, make some fine tweaks. Then you move on to step number 2. Let's add a little bit of EQ. Don't overdo it. We want to remember to always cut first before we boost. Cut stuff out, then boost. If you boost it first, you're going to get a lot of mud and probably a lot of clipping. So let's add a parametric EQ right here. That seems to be the most customizable. And we'll just do that, and we'll go to the default settings. And I really like, see this over here in the top right corner? Open the EQ curve so it's nice. You can see it all right here. Cut the frequencies between 80 and 100 kilohertz. Cut those low ones out below there, and cut out somewhere in between 6, 7, 8,000 on the high end. Match it to your guitar. Let your ear guide you on this one. Okay, so here we are. We're at the 100 hertz. We're going to play a little bit. All right, see the change already? All right, so I don't want to take it too low. Let's try that. What do you think? Not bad. Let's go a little higher on that. All right, so cutting it right around the 100 kilohertz. Let's go over here. This is the 5,000 range. Let's move this over a little bit. Let's right around 6,500. And let's cut that a little bit and see how it changes the sound. Neck position. All right, let's hear the bridge. All right, that might be a little too much. This is all a matter of taste. You can decide which one you really like. I like that. Now, generally, the guitar plays and sounds best around the mid range. So we're here at the 500 and 2000s over here. Let's boost these up a little bit. Took the 500 up by 2.6. Let's see if that makes a big difference. Now watch what happens when we cut it out all the way. Really crazy. It's like gone, right? Let's take it right up to about here. Let's also mess with this one that's set at the 2000 range. We can move it over a little bit. We're going to move it around to the 1630, somewhere in that range. Okay. Let's turn that up a little bit. That's my neck. Not my neck, the guitar's neck. Now let's click out of here. Let's play a little bit and then shut that off and see the difference. Shut that off. Big difference, and that's the bridge pickup. See how muddy it was? Let's go to the neck pickup. Now let's turn it back on. Notice the big difference. All right, now if you don't like that, you can always adjust it again. I'm going to stick with that. Let's go up and save that so we don't lose our changes. We've made it to step 3 already, and that is to set your guitar's input level. Notice this here says input level. What we want to do is to make this input level give us good volume through the rig before we add any other crazy things or effects. All right, now you can once again use your board sitting on the floor, or if you're doing this directly on the board, that's great. Make sure you don't kick yourself into the orange and red range on the output side of the rig. So, all right, let's check this out. Now I have this already set up to my own preset. See this over here called Black Sire. This is a Sire guitar. I use this when I am playing this guitar. I changed the input to Black Sire. And what that did was it gave me a little bit of input gain. The gate threshold is kept down low. The gate release is at 11 milliseconds and the noise filter is at -120. For now, that sounds good. I'm not going to mess with anything, but if you have a strong pickups, lower this. If your pickups are a little weak, turn it up a little bit on the input gain section, and then save it as a preset. Name it whatever it will help you remember next time you want to use it. All right, I hope you're learning and enjoying this so far. We're almost there, but hang in there. I just want to tell you a couple quick things. First of all, if you enjoy the video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up, right? It's free, it's easy. And if you like this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel. That helps me know the kind of stuff you people like. I want to help you, and you can help me by doing that. And be sure to leave your comments below. Tell me your tips and tricks for getting better sound out of your HeadRush products. And while you're at it, check out the rest of my videos. I have tons of videos on there now, and especially I have a lot related to the HeadRush products and MIDI related things, how to use your electric to sound acoustic. That's one of my more popular videos. And just check them out. You'll have fun. Leave a comment. See you soon. Let's get back to the video. We are at step number 4. Here's a little thing to keep in mind. We want the amp first, space later, meaning your amp and cab go first, and then after you put spatial things like reverb, delay, chorus, phaser, funky stuff. Generally, beforehand, you put your compressor, your drive, and even your wah pedal. But the wah pedal is really flexible. You can put it wherever you want, but you can generally put it beforehand. So keep that in mind. Amp first, space later. Compressor, drive before the amp, because you want to drive the amp with those. Let's grab a compressor and drag it into block number 1. Go down to compressors and pick whatever you like. I like Buddha Comp. I'm going to put let's do the default for now. And then I like to put a little bit of overdrive next. Let's do the greener, and we'll do default again. All right. Now let's put some headphones on, and we'll hear how it sounds with these things turned on. Okay, I turned off the overdrive for now because I don't want that to color my sound yet. I have the compressor on default. Everything looks like it's right down the middle. Pretty simple. Notice how tight it is. Much better than it was before. Let's turn that off. Turn it back on. All right. Now I'm going to go up here and mess around with a preset. I don't mind using the presets. You know, once you try them out, make sure you like them. Let's try the one called Expressive. That turned the gain up a little bit. The level stayed the same. It compressed less, and then the attack was 100%. Let's see what the difference is. I don't like that. Let's try a different one. Let's do attacks. Let's see what that does. I don't know. I don't really like that. Let's go back to default, and we'll just do our own, okay? We'll do a little less compression. See how that sounds? And a little less attack. Let's add a little bit of gain here. I think we can add some without it getting dirty. Let's add a little more gain. And let's turn the level up a little bit. Let's hear it without it. You might like it without it. We're going to use it now just to keep things under control. Look at my board down below there. We're not clipping. So I'm going to turn the level up a little bit more and see how we can do it. Still looks good on the output meter. I'm going to save this as a preset. I'll call it test rig comp. Oops. Test rig comp. All right. Let's save our rig so we don't lose our hard work. Now let's try this little overdrive. Turn that on. The default is straight down the middle. Not bad. I like that. more level. All right. Getting all that started to push my meter up into the orange. I'm going to cut that down a tiny bit. These are things you can do along the way. It's not hard. It's actually kind of fun. Let's turn it off. See how it sounds. Turn it back on. You can tell this one changes the tone a little bit. Let's turn it up real high on the tone and see the difference. Let's keep it down to 60 something. Good. I like that. Let's save it. I'm going to leave a little space here. I'm going to let's do some reverb. I really love the C verbs. Let's try that. Let's try C verb. And I made one of my own, but we'll start from scratch. We will use one of the spatial ones. Let's do Hall 1 Opus. And let's turn it on and hear how that default. Let's turn a little distortion on, see how it sounds with it. Sounding good so far. I like it. I'm going to stick with that. You might want to make some adjustments. I like this as it is. Let's click and save it right there. Let's add one more spatial thing. Let's add some delay. We could get crazy and try that new multi-delay. What the heck? I'm going to do one that I made a preset for. I just made some adjustments. I called min panned. It's a panned crazy 4-tap delay. I just minimized some of the feedback and stuff like that. So check this out. Let's turn off our distortion for now. Turn the distortion back on. This is going to be seasoned to taste, just like when you get a steak. Some people put Worcestershire sauce on it. Some people put salt. Some people put nothing. Seasoned to taste. Use your ears. And always remember, don't let any block overload your signal so that it's starting to clip. So I'm going to go check again as I played. I got several things on right now. Still staying right there. Kind of hit the orange for a second, but not too much. I'm digging it. Let's save this rig. We have made it through step 4. We're on to step 5. I can't believe it. You've made it to step 5. You're the best. I love you, man. It's a simple step. All you need to do is use your ears and test your rig in the real life setting where you're going to use it. It's great to have good studio headphones like I have to fine tune and craft your rig, but you need to try it in the real world. So If you're playing in a band, play it in the band and mess with your EQ maybe for the room. Consider the room you're playing in. And I'm going to suggest, as a last resort, adjust some of the global EQ settings for the room you're in. So if you're playing in a small joint and you're getting too much, reverberation, and you're hearing too much of yourself, maybe you pull back some things on the global EQ. But don't just trust headphones to give you the real life sound. Try it with your FR, or if you're going through the back of an amp, or however you use it, try it, practice it in the real world setting. And one way to do that, if you're using FR like I have behind me, you can record a loop and then play over it and see how it sounds in a little bit of a mix. Or use a backing track, connected through Bluetooth or however you want to connect it, or in your looper, and play over it and see how you cut through the mix. It's very important to try it in the real world so you can get just an accurate sense of how it's going to sound when you play it. There you have it. 5 steps to crafting better tones with your HeadRush products. You start off simple. You make sure you pick a good amp and a cab that work well together. Make some adjustments to them. Second step, add a little EQ. I suggest after the amp and cab, right? That's cool. Love it. Step number 3, control your guitar's input volume. Use that input block. Make sure that's not set too high or too low. If it's too high, you're going to get clipping automatically. If it's too low, you might need to just boost it up so you actually hear your guitar, right? Step number 4, think amp and cabs first, space later. Amp and cabs first, space later. Drives, compressors, wahs before the amp. And last but not least, make sure you try it out in the real world situation in your FR, speaker cab, front of house, whatever you can do. Try it in the real world so you really can tell if it's going to sound good. I hope that helped you. I dig you. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like it, subscribe, check out my other videos. I'll see you in the next one.